Thanks, Katie. And I wanted to just reiterate what Lou said with the challenges, because there was a number of things that Kathy had shown on hers that resonated with what I have. And then I didn't put it on for challenge, but Lena's challenge of prioritizing is definitely something that I am facing. So I think you should be able to see our community overview profile for the Ecological Forecasting Initiative. And Katie, we shorten it to EFI. So if that helps you to remember, you could do it that way. So our community is a grassroots community of people who create and use ecological forecasts and people who promote ecological forecasting as a way to do science. It's a new field in ecology, and we're bringing together people from academia, government, NGOs, and the corporate sector. And our goal is to promote ecological forecasts as a way to help society understand, manage, and conserve ecosystems. And we also think that by broadening diversity and inclusion within our group and with people creating forecasts, that we'll be able to have more forecasts that are usable by a wider range of people in a wider range of situations. And there's lots of different systems that ecological forecasts have been created for. So some examples from people in our group are forecasts for algal blooms, or we have a group in Maine that is forecasting the locations of jellyfish. So if you're going to go out to swim, you could check that and see if you wanted to go swim there. Or we have quite a few groups actually that are forecasting the timing of when leaves will change color in the fall or will get green in the spring. And the key with the ecological forecasts, like with weather forecasts, is that we're collecting data, we make predictions, we see if those predictions are correct, and then we make changes to the model to make better predictions. And like weather forecasts, we want ecological forecasts to become ubiquitous, so we can learn more about individual systems that are being forecasted, but then as we have more forecasts, then we can see where there's commonalities across systems to help us predict better. And so I'd say it was really fun working with Sarah, going through the survey, because I got to learn about her former life as a TV meteorologist and making those connections with forecasting. So that was a lot of fun. And I want to say thanks a lot to Sarah and to Katie for pulling this together. It was really great to have the opportunity to think through it myself and then work with our steering committee. But then for you guys to take all of that and put it in a nice format. So Effie there were some meetings starting about 2016, but we officially launched in 2018, and I've been with the program since then. And when I saw this opportunity come up, I thought it would be great so we could get a snapshot of where we are right now. And then I also thought it would be a really nice opportunity for Effie so I could get feedback from our steering committee to see if we're on the same page, and then also as a way to share it with our broader community. I was also inspired by looking at the other community profiles, because there were other organizations that we collaborate with, like the Carpentries or LTR and USGS. And so when I was able to go to our steering committee and say, hey, look, these other groups are doing it, we should do it too. So that's just a little overview and some of my reflections on the process. One thing that I really liked are these keywords, and it was just neat thinking back to the survey process of doing that and then being able to see things come up here and go through each of these and say, yes, that is us. That really does fit us. So that's been good. I would say, reflecting back, one of the hardest parts for us was the community structure section. And this was something that was part of the homework to prepare for before the survey. But now that I've done it, I wish I would have been more systematic working with our steering committee members to assess the FTEs. A lot of our steering committee members are volunteering their time, and so it was hard to get those estimates. It was really, one thing that I really liked was thinking about these members and being able to have the opportunity to actually go back to our membership list and getting these numbers. I knew that we had a large amount of people from academia involved, but this way I was actually able to put some numbers to that. And I think that'll help us as we're thinking about moving forward. We want to, while we will have a lot of people from academia, we definitely want to expand our reach into these other sectors. And as others have said, it was really nice that Katie took our my conception of our community configuration and then put it so nicely here. And so we've got funding from the National Science Foundation and the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation, so that's coming in. And we've got a number of different member types, and this I focused on more the functions of our members, and we could have members that fit different, or participants that fit different member types here. So we could have people that are in our student association that are also working on other working groups, so things like that. But as I was recently part of the Community Engagement Fundamentals course, and through that course, we were thinking also about the demographics of our members. And so just between those two things, that's been good to think about those differences. And then we've got the programming piece where we do have programming that goes across all four of the different modes of engagement. But again, from the course that I recently was part of, the engagement course, it was nice to see that there's other communities that don't have all of those modes, and that's okay. And so that's one thing, thinking about looking at all the community profiles, it'll be nice to see that. And I'm just hoping that people don't feel like they need to fill all four of those modes. Another thing that I really enjoyed about going through this process is thinking about our community champions. So we don't have a formal champions program, but we do have our international chapters and our student association that are really taking the lead on programming themselves and advancing our community through their own connections. And so that's been really great. And so it'll be good to see the champions documentation coming out. And then to our outputs and evaluations, this was another great section that I appreciated having the opportunity to just reflect on what our successes have been, thinking about our opportunities and thinking about upcoming. We're working with a number of government agencies to highlight the need for more funding and more work across agencies. And then to the challenges again, like others have said, there's the financial sustainability, thinking about time management and burnout. And then for us, we really want to increase diversity within our within FE. And I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Jody. Does anyone have any questions for Jody?
Is there a particular axis of diversity that you're looking to address with EFI?
So that has come up, and it depends on who you're talking to. We have different people have different priorities. So there's definitely a desire for more what some people are calling national diversity, so more people of color. And then there's also, we do have these 2 international chapters, but we would like to expand that more. And then thinking about the disciplines or the sectors, you saw how we don't have as many people from corporate or nonprofit organizations. And so we'd like to expand that as well. So really, it's all across the board.
Nice.